Alrighty, so today I want to talk about Dragon Stones, and more specifically where we can be getting them, the best ways to grind them, how potentially we could be managing them, and all of those fun things. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and stay tuned, and I think this video you will be able to take a thing or two from it. This is one of those videos that I like to update every few months or so, just because I feel like with all these big celebrations, with the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, with GDC, with the yearly anniversary, these are things that need to be updated because people are always looking for what are the most efficient ways to grind stones, what are the best ways to do this, the best ways to do that, and I think that it's just good to keep you guys in the know as much as possible. So if that sounds interesting to you, like I said, let's go ahead and get into it. But before we get started, the channel today reached 30,000 subscribers, so I just want to say big thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed over the years. It's been a long time. We've been uploading since 2021. Some people might say that takes a long, you've been doing this for 4 years, you're at 30K. Hey, sometimes it takes a little bit to get to where you're trying to go. But that we are now moving on to the next channel milestone, which is going to be 40,000 subscribers. So if you guys find these videos helpful and enjoyable, don't forget to subscribe before you go. But with that being said, let's talk about the first method to get Dragon Stones, which is going to be the most efficient for most players, especially newer players. This is going to be the easiest way, and something that we just have to get out of the way first, and that is going to be the Quest Dokkan story mode right here. This is the most streamlined process for getting Dragon Stones. Again, you guys know this process at this point. We were going back and forth between 0 to hero accounts. You guys know how that goes. So one thing that you need to note for the story mode, very easy stuff. Sometimes you're going to have to do, like, the most annoying part about doing quest mode is the stop sign fights that you can't avoid. But with that being said, what you should be doing for quest mode is clicking on the specific stage and then going to the difficulty you want to play. So in this case here, Z hard would be the difficulty that we are looking for, because if we clear it on Z hard, we are going to be getting credit for all of the difficulties at once. That's always going to be one of the biggest ways that you can get Dragon Stones, just going through all of this right here. I believe quest mode at this point is close to about 1,000 stones or so. It might not sound like a lot, but it is, right? That's a really good chance to pull a character that you're after on a specific banner just from this right here. And then there are over 38 areas at this point. Maybe you're somebody who's returning after a few years, and the last time that you played, this was the last area right here, 27.3. This was the last stage that you could do. This was the rank grind stage, but now things have changed quite a bit over here on the Dokkan streets. So we are now up to area 38, and the story is not concluded. So area 38 right here, we're going to probably be at area 40, maybe by the end of the year, maybe next year, and that is going to be pretty exciting. So quest mode, this is far and away the most streamlined way for you to get Dragon Stones, and this is always going to be the easiest method for you. Now, when it comes to maybe somebody who just started today, they started yesterday, you're wondering how to get stones, one big thing is going to be these panel missions for you right here. Now, you may be wondering, why am I talking about these in specific? The panel missions right here are really important because of the fact that they're going to give you the free-to-play Saiyan Saga team. And with the free-to-play Saiyan Saga team, this is going to be one of the... We already got our mission stuff, but the Saiyan Saga team is very, very good for doing stuff like the Dokkan story and story events and things like that. So this is going to be like the easiest way for you to get Dragon Stones. Now, when it comes to different things like that, let's go ahead and move on to the next section, which is going to be more of the easiest Dragon Stones in the game, and that is going to be the Dragon Ball story section. Now, this is extremely similar to what we just talked about with quest mode, where you're just essentially going through a different version of quest mode, but you're going to be just farming different things. It's going to be different fights, things like that, and it's actually kind of fun to just go through these. And you guys can see that you're going to be getting Dragon Stones per clear, and you're going to want to play it on the hardest difficulty. And this is also going to be a very good source of Dragon Stones for you because the fights are not going to be difficult. This is something that they update pretty frequently, right? I believe they just did recently with the story mode in here. They just made one of the other ones a Dragon Ball story, if I'm not mistaken. They brought this back, and then they moved one. Which one was it? It was they just did this recently. I don't know. It's in Dragon Ball Z. If we go to This one right here. Yeah, so they put this one in the Dragon Ball Story tab. So right off the bat, you guys can see there's 10 stages, so there's 20 stones right there, as well as a good free-to-play Vegeta, but you don't care about that for this video. So this is something that gets frequently updated with major celebrations and things like that. Very easy way for you to farm Dragon Stones, and I think it's just an efficient method for you overall. But the next section I want to talk about in this video, I'm going to go over to the JP side for this because it's a little easier to kind of display what I'm talking about. But is going to be the challenge event tab. Now, this is for players who are in the mid to end game section, and especially if we go down here, these are going to be really good stages for you if you are not in the mid to end game section. But the first thing I want to talk about is Dokkan Event Boss Rush. Now, Dokkan Event Boss Rush, if you are a newer player, this is an extremely good way for you to get stones. In here, these are going to be, if we go here, you guys can see these are giving you 35 stones per clear. They do take a little bit, like 15 to 20 minutes to clear, but they are extremely easy. Dokkan events are super easy. They don't take much time at all. Usually they're around 4 turns. They take about 2 minutes, and you just have to play them in succession. And these are going to give you a huge amount of Dragon Stones. And these are going to be some of the most streamlined and easy stones to get in the game. So just keep that in mind. I think that this is a really good way for you guys to get stones. I like this event a lot, and a lot of players would recommend that you do this, especially if you're looking for like a big number of stones and a bit of a pinch. Like you're like, okay, I have to finish this rotation on a banner. I've got 2 hours left. I would say that this is probably going to be the best way for you to get Dragon Stones all at once, because 15 minutes of your time and you're going to be able to get those amount of stones. So this is an extremely good way for you to farm up stones in Dokkan Event Boss Rush. And then the next one for mid to beginner players is going to be Infinite Dragon Ball History. Infinite Dragon Ball History, you guys can see, has over 420 missions. So this is a really good way for you guys to farm Dragon Stones as well. You don't need to worry about clearing all of the missions. You're going to be getting a decent chunk of stones just for clearing each stage. You guys will see that, like, we can use teams that are not like the absolute best right here. Like this team is good, but it's got some bad like apples in here. Like Evolution Blue Vegeta isn't great at this point, and the Ribrianne trio is also not that great. And then if we look at the one that we used for this team right here, you can see it's just like a Glorio setup, and that's a pretty good team there. But you don't need to use like extremely end game, the best teams possible in order to clear these out. The Saiyan Saga team might be a little bit tricky for you here, but if you have like a setup of summonable characters here, maybe you've been playing the game for like a week and you have like the new Golden Frieza and Gogeta unit, this character is going to be able to just like kind of work their way through Infinite Dragon Ball History pretty easily, and it's always going to be a very good way for you to farm up stones. So in terms of the event tab, these are going to be, or the challenge event tab, these are going to be 2 extremely good ways to farm stones. Then if you're looking for some other easy ones, in my opinion, the legendary Goku event is very good. The legendary GT Goku event are very good. And what you can do is go through here into the missions tab and then see potentially if you can do any of the category missions. I would just scroll through these and see what you can do yourself. And if you can take out some of these, then obviously you can knock that out as well. And you're also going to be rewarded with some tickets. So that's always cool as well. You can pull LR, or not LR, but Super Saiyan God Goku, the tech one that's kind of good against pure Saiyans and movie bosses. Then you could also pull somebody like LR Dragon Fist Goku on this banner from here. Then you have the Vegeta event and the GT Goku event. The same philosophy is going to apply there, as well as the Frieza event. So those are going to be probably the easiest ways for you to get stones without having to do tricky fights. If you want to see how many of these you can take on, you can go ahead and do that. Some of these are going to be easier than others, and if you think you can take care of it, then obviously knock yourself out. I think that would be very good for you. Now, looking over here at the story tab, story events are also very good for farming Dragon Stones. It's basically what we said about the DB story tab, essentially the same thing. Next up, Super Strike characters. I think Super Strike characters are a very good way for you to farm stuff up as well. You guys can see there are a bunch of these, and these missions are extremely easy, and they make the process very simple for you. You're able to get the characters, you're able to get the medals you need, you get a bunch of Dragon Stones for finishing this process out, and some of these are decent little free-to-play characters. Nothing crazy, but it's still a good way for you to acquire Dragon Stones. Now, last but not least, what I mainly want to talk about in this, not mainly want to talk about, but the big boy for stones, the Easy A tab. This is going to be your absolute best friend. Now, if you are somebody that has a decent team full of LRs, you are really in luck, because this is going to be the main method that I ended up using on the Zero to Hero account to farm Dragon Stones for banners, because, you know, we had a bunch of summonable LR banners recently with GDC into this celebration. So what my main method of farming stones was doing the LR Easy A's. So what you would do is go in here and then use a team of 6 specific LRs. Typically, the setup doesn't really matter too much. You guys could see I was running a mono tech tech setup right here, and this team was working just fine for me, but you could see other people were using like the Omega Shenron team, stuff like that, GT Heroes. These are all different teams that you can use, and it's going to work out just fine for you. Now, you may be wondering, why are we doing LR EZAs? These seem like they'd be really hard. Well, no. Because with LR EZAs, if you have the legendary power link active, which is essentially having two LRs next to each other, this is going to make life very easy for you because you have increased damage reduction, you have increased damage dealt, and if you don't have that legendary power link active, you could be in trouble because, again, you're just losing out on a lot of damage and a lot of detects. So when you have this right here, you've got these, and there are so many of these LR EZAs at this point, and this is going to be giving you 30 stones per run. And if you complete the category or the extra mission on the side, you're going to be getting 33. So what you can do is, why is this like better than doing this, right? Well, the answer is very, very simple. This is 30 stones for 10 stages. This is 30 stones for 30 stages. And these just happen to go by much, much, much quicker. So if you just do all of these LR EZAs, and like I said, you guys can see there are a bunch here. And you may be wondering why these are up to 78. It's for titles. That's just something they've had in the game for a while. But if you do all these LR EZAs, especially with an account that is able to take care of these very easily, or not even like just an account or a team with summonable LRs, you're going to be able to take these down pretty easy. And you guys can see there are a bunch of these ones here that go to level 11, and these are ones that you're trying to be looking for with LRs. So this is EZA tab is definitely the most plentiful source of dragon stones in the game right now. This one gives thousands upon thousands upon thousands of stones, but it's also going to be a huge time sink for you. So if you're desperate for stones and you really want to like get a character, you're probably going to want to be living in this tab. But the issue with this specific section of the video is most of the time you are going to need specific teams to really chunk out this, and it's not going to take forever. So for example, if we look at this Super Vegito and then we go to the battle information, you guys can see that the category here is going to be like Majin Power or something like that, right? Or Transformation Boost. So what some people are doing is running a setup like this. You guys can see the setup that I use to get to level 77, basically just a mono STR team, and then you had Golden Frieza on there, and you're going to have to do this over and over 30 times, and it's just going to be a slower grind because the enemies are a little bit tougher to get through, just the way that it's set up, right? So summonable LR EZAs, this is definitely going to be the best way for you to grind dragon stones in terms of speed and efficiency and the amount of quantity that you can get. I think pound for pound, that is probably the best method if you have a team of summonable LRs. Now, it's going to be pretty tricky for you if you're just starting out today to do that, but if you've been summoning on banners recently, the Omega Shenron team I think could work out pretty well for you. So if we go to like extreme class LRs, all of these characters right here, specifically on this team that I'm about to show you, were on the banners from GDC onwards. So if you pulled all these characters and then you did Battlefield, the special Battlefield, you'll have the Legion of Shadow Dragons. But if you need to substitute him with somebody, you really can just put anybody there as long as the legendary power link is active. Maybe you have this Omega Shenron. Oh, you can't do that actually, excuse me, because of the same name thing. You can't do that in EZAs. Maybe you could use like Insamasu, you could use this Rose. There are a lot of different options that you could potentially do in order to set the team up properly. So I think those are going to be the best ways to grind up the Dragon Stones. Now, last but not least, just kind of a helpful tip here for you guys. If you are looking to save your Dragon Stones, just don't use them all in one place, right? Especially if you're free to play. If you pull a copy of the character that you're looking for, I highly advise that you stop summoning on the banner. Dupes are by no means required in this game, especially for newer characters, because if a character has to be duped out to be good, that probably means the unit is not worth your time, and that's just a bad use of your Dragon Stones. So just keep that in mind. Saving Dragon Stones and pacing yourself out and being disciplined is the best way to be free to play in this game, and you could definitely make it work. So that's all I got for you guys in this one. That was the Stone Farming Grind updated for September of 2025. Let me know down below any other methods that you guys are using, and ask any questions that you have. Again, for 30K, what I want to do is a live Q&A, or maybe I'll do a Q&A video, but ask any questions you'd like me to answer within reason, and I will do that for a video soon. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to leave a like if you did. Shout out to all my supporters over on the member side of things. If you want to join that down below, you can with the link in the description. It is greatly appreciated, but not required. You watching the videos is more than enough. So thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.